Ooh, winter solstice. Here we go. This is your AstroShaman, Pernell Bobby. We're here generating a world of harmony, leveraging astrology, and we're also doing that through human design. And this is where the reality sets in Capricorn, where we are looking to integrate the shadow of the ego. I have a special guest on today. Plenty of you know her, Aileen, the Mexican Bruja. Super happy to have her here, literally checking in from Mexico. It's going to get lit. We're about to get lifted. We're going to talk to you about the winter solstice, and I'm going to bring it to Aileen because she really has a lot of expertise on what are we doing with this winter solstice energy. So give it to us.
Hi. Thank you. Well, winter solstice was on December 21st. This is super special because it is the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year. So let's understand this. This really marks the beginning of the Jewel festivities. That is the first of the weekend Sabbaths. On this celebration, we embrace the darkness, and we also hope for the reborn, for the renewal, for the upcoming of the light. Because as I said before, like this is marking one of the darkest periods of the year, but it also comes with this hope of light is gonna come again, the sun is gonna come again, and this is just gonna come all its way around until the next festivity.
So today we have 6 actions that have a lot to do with Capricorn in relation. Maybe you want to fireball those top 6 topics so people can know, whether they're watching on replay, thanking them for that thumbs up as well. I do appreciate you. We are running astrology divinity memberships, teaching astrology every first and third Sunday. So we actually meet next on New Year's based off of this, literally on day 1. So I asked the gang, I said, do y'all want to do this? Y'all want to meet on New Year's? Do y'all feel like y'all going to be hungover or some other stuff? They're like, we want to come ready to learn on day 1. And I'm like, this is the type of people that I want to be around. This is the tribe. This is the, and now somebody's going to tell me, nah, New Year's is off, or nah, Christmas is off. It's like, let's be real. Let's be honest. I mean, holiday traditions, they have changed a long time ago. Now, everybody needs to do and make what that they do. But I feel like these 6 that Aileen is about to give us, as we go through them one by one, on 6 karmic actions that you can take to really kind of free the karma of Capricorn. I'll explain a little bit more about the karma of Capricorn, but I have posts out there already kind of saying so. So Aileen, give us the 6.
All right. So the first one is people pleasing.
Okay, number 1. And then we're gonna go through it later. So we'll give them a quick review. Number 1 is people pleasing.
Yeah. Number second, huh? Number 2 is is accepting projections that are not ours.
Accepting projections that's not ours.
Number 3, it's an unconscious push of familiar traditions.
An unconscious push of unfamiliar traditions or familiar traditions.
Yeah. Number 4 is allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear.
Allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear.
Number 5 is denying the importance of the shadow versus the integration of it.
Denying the importance of the shadow versus the integration.
And last one, number 6, is toxic positivity.
Okay, bang. And we got toxic positivity. So here we go. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We're getting ready to give you the winter solstice message. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to your family. I hope everyone is out there. If you don't have somebody to really celebrate that with, that you find ways to make sure you love yourself and really work on your own character edges, and call somebody, call a friend, But Merry Christmas to all of you. Winter solstice, we're going to give you the message. So number 1, Capricorn, people pleasing. We know Saturn is a part of reputation, big status, big wealth, but it's accumulated over a long period of time. So with Capricorn, what does the people pleasing have to do as a part of it accumulating wealth and pushing forward that cardinal earth?
I mean, this is something that you can see a lot, especially around these holidays. Like, just think about being on family dinners just saying things that your family want to hear, not actually something that you're thinking of. It's like denying your true self just because of the next person being there. You know, maybe, and this is just like a random example, but people asking about, let's say, your job, you know, and let's say, for example, I am in the space of entrepreneurship, and something that maybe my family is not something good that seemed good. No, they educated me to just have a career as an engineer and work in an enterprise, in a business, and just stay there forever until I get my pension and I can retire. So people pleasing in this season would be just out of this awkwardness, denying my authentic self, what I believe in, and just saying like, yeah, I'm pursuing job interviews within the engineering space. And another one very common right now is getting gifts just out of obligation, just because you want to please somebody else, not because you really feel it. Maybe you are in a strange situation. Maybe you really don't have the economic situation, the financial situation to afford to buy someone else a gift, but just out of people pleasing, you do that, putting yourself in a place of stress. Yeah.
Right. And that's silly. You know, and in all sincerity, I have done this. And this is where, you know, Capricorn also comes in with the rewriting of, you know, these familiar traditions. You know, it is the cardinal earth that eventually we have to push forward for that new reality, right? But that's super dope, because you hit it on the nose. I mean, I ain't even got nothing to say. You just hit it, like, you hit it so strong, like hit him with the role model. So you just hit him with the role model. Bang. I'm like, I ain't even got nothing to say. I mean, you basically just said exactly what Capricorn is doing. This is one of the 6 actions. So now that we know what people pleasing is, how do we stop people pleasing? If you gave us a little insight, what does that look like? How do we stop people pleasing?
Well, like putting ourselves first and understanding that being our most authentic selves is everything in alignment, thinking the same thing, acting in the same way, saying the same thing, like even vibrating on the same energy. So if I'm feeling something, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to change it just because of the next person, you know?
The music, the music. I feel like music is huge. When you think of, like, when I think of Cancer, the shadow of Capricorn, it's like music is major. Music is what connects us to our emotions. And this is how Capricorn as well can start to, those actions have to match on a music level, the sound bite. And you worked in somewhere in the music space as well. What can you say to attest to how music relates to our emotions and our memories?
I mean, it's super, super clear. Just think about a song that you haven't heard in forever. Let's say, for example, some 90s song. And this is something that just happened recently. Listening to the songs that I heard when I was, like 10 years old. And they were saying some very harmful things. And we're just out there singing, belting that out loud. We didn't think about it. It's not conscious, but we're manifesting those things into our reality.
Spelling, yeah.
Spelling, yeah. And now think about when you have a breakup and you intentionally listen to sad music so you can cry even more. Like that's some kind of magic too, and that's another way of connecting with the music. This is actually using it for a good outlet, like just let your emotions out. Or when you're pumped in the gym and you just put something that makes you up and fiery, just making yourself a little more energetic. So we can definitely use music as this channel, as this projection of our inner feelings, of our inner moods.
How does music play into the spell casting? You know, I said spelling right there. How does the music play into the spell casting of, like, you know, keeping generations bound? You know, whether it's listening to the same cultural salsa or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Because, and how does people pleasing play into that binding of the music as well, into a certain heritage, certain culture, certain.
Well, it would be something like playing something out of tradition, you know, rather than out of if it's an alignment or not. Like, do I really want to be listening to this kind of music just because it's what we've been hearing all this time? Because let's understand is probably no one in the family has ever just wondered about what the lyrics are saying or if it's vibrationally aligned or not. So let's be this part of the chain that just breaks it. So, you know, stand up, and it would be, for example, in my culture, like, I don't want to listen to this reggaeton, you know, because it's demeaning for women. And even though it's like played on parties all the time, and even though I've even danced to it when I was younger, right now that I reached this consciousness of actually understanding and listening to lyrics, is like, I really don't want to continue this. Like, is this really what I want to give to the next generation?
Yeah, it gets repetitive. It gets repetitive. So people pleasing with Capricorn, you know, before we move on to number 2 out of the 6 different action steps that really attributes to your karma, like whether they advance forward in that generational and transpersonal line, or whether they stay stuck in time. Before we go to number 2, how does Capricorn people please the most? Like, what is if you try to assign people pleasing to a Capricorn as a trait, as a character or a zodiac sign, what is the version or the style of people pleasing in that public status?
I mean, I think you just said it. When I think about your question and like Capricorn specifically, I could think of 2 reasons for Capricorn people pleasing. One is to keep the status, literally, like just saying things so they can keep climbing the social ladder, and not creating enemies, you know.
That's simple. Not that simple. So not creating enemies. That's a great way to put the people pleasing. And remembering it's a feminine energy, it's a feminine sign with Saturn and discipline. So it's like, wow, really, if that's how the family line was caught and brought up, that look, you don't really step on no toes, you don't be a disruptor, then you're saying through generations, we're continuing that with Capricorn type energy.
Yeah. And the second one would literally just tradition, you know, just like out of tradition, just because they don't know anything else, anything outside of that. Or I don't want to say that they don't know it, maybe don't feel comfortable just going into something new. It's always safer, like for the mind, for the ego, to stay in the same place.
Right. And Earth is about predictability. You know, Earth is a predictable element out of the 4. So it does want to know. It does want a certain sense of, I know what comes next. And, you know, we've already seen, even through human design, as I've been working deeper and deeper into it, that like, that's not always the story. That can't always be the narrative, because it within itself gets us caught in the same run of tradition. You know what I'm saying? What's up, fam? How you doing?
Hey.
White Lobo checking in.
8108 818.
818.
Yeah.
Man, it's been everywhere. So we're gonna run it. So what's number 2? Thank y'all all for those thumbs up as well. Understand that we're also always running memberships teaching astrology. We meet again up on the 1st, 3rd, I think. Yeah, North Hollywood. What's going on? I was just talking about
California.
Yeah. That's what's up. Up by Sherman Oaks in the Valley area. So shout out to California. So what's number 2 to the karmic actions that Capricorn goes through?
Second one is accepting projections that aren't ours. And I think that you, with a human design, are actually someone that can answer these questions so much better. I mean, I obviously can add into it some of my knowledge, but I do feel that you have like the starting point on this one. Like, well, for example, what's a projection? How do you accept it? And then why would we do that?
Sure. So a projection is like, you know, a mental thought that we logically and rationally push forward and place that thought as if, and even in its shadow, trying to gaslight and convince the next person that this is their thought in the first place. And so it kind of starts from a mental projection, but it's based in a need for security. So the need for security will project and present this narrative or this story that I want and I need to live out, but instead I'm going to make it seem like it's your fault. I'm going to apply blame because it distracts me. Because when you think about Capricorn and power, Capricorn is saying, look, power is in control. There's a certain sense of security and, again, predictability, Earth, that allows me to maintain this status, that allows me to maintain this sense of safety, not just for me, but for my entire family and for my entire heritage line, the whole line. And I have to be very disciplined in this, because if I drop the ball, my entire family and every generation begins to lose. So the projection is really kind of that strong, coming from these base and these survival mechanisms within us that just activate. Like, it's just these long-standing generational and heritage-based, tradition-based manners of asserting ourselves in a toxic feminine manner. Now, I say specifically a toxic feminine manner with Saturn being like, having that brotherly influence of Aquarius and Libra. So when I think projection, that's step one. And what's the second part of the question?
What's the projection? How do you accept it?
So how you accept the projection, to be honest, most times by just being unaware of who you are. Just truly being unaware of who you are. You accept the projections just by sheer ignorance, just simply not knowing your status. And I've seen this from even me myself, like me not recognizing my own status and having that projection, having to outwardly present people of a high status, people of a grand following, or at least bare minimum, the image that they're doing something tremendous in the world. I will project that out so that I can essentially return that frustration to myself. And in the return of that frustration, I recognize this is a rejection within myself. So projection, and when you reframe the story, how you accept it is by reframing what rejection looks like and not seeing, failure as something to stop you rather than a reason to learn. This is where you need to preserve your power. Internal, back within me, like wherever we feel rejected, it's like this is exactly the place where we need to preserve our energy and our power, because Capricorn has that standstill, that freeze, that halt, that manipulation of time to say, this is where we need to preserve our power, because I'm about efficiency. So how we accept it is recognizing that whole story, that like that pressure is a requirement to us as a feminine energy, Capricorn, stepping into that most creative form of pushing forward in a feminine manner. And that's the key, because a masculine projection is very different than a feminine projection. Capricorn is a feminine projection, and that's how the feminine does it. It embraces that opposite end in a reverse psychology, gaslighting, to apply pressure on itself. It's mad weird, but it's a divine feminine practice.
Yeah, I don't even think it's weird at all. Like it's literally one of the divine feminine shadows, the manipulation, and I feel that plays a lot into this energy. Like that's the female. Well, I don't want to say female. The feminine way of taking those projections or doing the projections on others, and it actually comes from fear. You want to manipulate everything, so you manipulate literally everyone around you, so you can control all the circumstances.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. It's just to freeze everything in time, because if everything and everybody is stiff, they're stuck, they're frozen, and they're all waiting for what's the next power move. What happens is anybody that moves out of line, you recognize them. So you got 100 robots and only one is malfunctioning now. Only one disruptor is malfunctioning. So that becomes an easy target that can be efficiently eradicated. And that's how that's why in human design, Capricorn is in the root chakra, heavy with Cancer, aka where the private roots start. So if we do the shadow work properly, where the private roots start in our emotional intelligence. And through emotional intelligence, we can operate publicly with a sense of class and dignity and demand respect, which now is the healthy form of the Capricorn projection. It's demanding respect by actually doing the deeper internal work on an emotional level and using that intelligence on the public stage to gain more control and power.
So happy with this.
What's number 3 out of the 6 Capricorn actions on this winter solstice? And can we give maybe people a reminder of what the winter solstice is about, as before we get into number 3, like just a brief, like what is this winter solstice? Why does it matter? And how does it play into these 6 things that we're talking about today in Capricorn?
Yeah. Sure, because the winter solstice, it was on the 21st of December. This marks the longest night and the shortest day of the year. So this whole period before from December 21st and into January 1st, it's a celebration of renewal, of embracing the darkness, embracing the shadows, and having this hope and just knowing, having the confidence, having the trust, the faith that the light is coming. Like there's always this part of the light. And it's not rejecting at all. It's not rejecting this shadow. It's embracing it, because without light, there's no shadow, and without shadow, there's no light.
Wow. So the reminder here to give people the hope is the light is coming. So right now, excuse me, how we deal with our rest and our phases and stages of melancholy, and like let's say you're in a partnership or even Capricorn, talking about like a contractual marriage, it can get tough. It can get tough with all the control dynamics that is like a prereq for Capricorn to start to feel safe, for Cancer to start to feel safe. They always have a certain sense of control of their immediate environment. Or for Capricorn in their work environment, where, you know, it's like, don't diss me in the workspace because that's where I'm going to war, versus, you know, Cancer Shadow could be saying something like, you know, definitely do not disrupt the sensitivities that I require space for within the comforts of my home being my body being my temple.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to address something that I saw from what level doesn't make it sound so easy. And I just want to come here and say that it's not easy at all. Like, I just want to debunk this, and we're going to address it again, probably with the toxic positivity part.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that these things are not easy. Like, embracing the shadow is not easy. Having this hope and this faith that the light is going to come for you. Some part of your logical mind doesn't know it. When your human body is not sure about this, of course, it's not easy. But it is all about small, manageable steps and understanding that it's all a process. Even if you start by saying or doing or refusing something very small, just start by knowing yourself little by little, because how else are you going to understand that you need your space, or that you need peace and quiet, or that you need something else, something different, if you don't know yourself? So it's just about a process. So honor that. I would really, really say honor that. If you even just start recognizing these things, that's a huge step, because before you were unaware, unconscious of all of that. So yeah, just that small remark that it's not easy, but we're here for this, to embrace you, and to for you to know that you're not alone. We're all going through the same things.
And Capricorn is a collective energy and sign, so that's really important of what you just said. Like, it is a collective energy and sign. So when you say we're all going through the same things, it's like we're all in this stage where we're being asked to see the reality and integrate the shadow of our ego, the shadow of how we have relied on external validation as a means of sense of self-worth. You know what I mean? We've attached validation to self-worth. It's like, I saw somebody say on the other day, like on somebody's profile, "Oh my God, you're an influencer now." And I was confused. I was like, "Is that a comment? Is that a compliment?" I was like, I was like, what the heck does this mean, yo? Like,
should I be flattered? Should I be concerned?
And it's interesting because I just recently started like really checking in on this person. I recently started following this person, and so like, it was just wild to see, because I realized that they had some really good looking things happening on their profile. But I'm like, damn, does the actual image equate to, you know, somebody is worthy of being an influencer, or even that it's a compliment to be an influencer? Like, it was, but it's Capricorn type themes. So just to help clarify, like, that is the how we derived in Capricorn our sense of self, you know, our sense of accomplishments, our sense of success, our sense of climbing the social ladder. Like, damn, like somebody gave me praise for something that I actually did and brought into reality. And it's like that has become the center of our strength, and that's not stable.
Yeah, because again, it's external validation you'd be relying on if you actually accepted that.
So what's number 3? Where we're at with this in the 6 karma? First, we have people pleasing. Second, we have projections. And how do we accept projections and deny them? How do we accept them and turn them down? And then we have number 3, which is
the unconscious push of traditions, of familiar traditions.
Right. So talk to me. What's up with that?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. Like, we're just doing things out of habit rather than if it's actually aligned or not. You know, why be all stressed about having a Christmas dinner when you're actually like losing the point of this? You know, the actual and Jule tradition is about this too, like coming together with a family, even with the people that are not here in this human plane anymore, just honoring them, having a feast, connecting with your family, connecting with your partner, with your friends. And the gifts are just a part of this appreciation, but I think that's gotten so lost over the years. So right now it's a Capricorn thing. Like, you're just doing this out of status, which is again not in alignment. You know, so you're only putting, and just take the situation, if it applies, and if not, it doesn't. But just, for example, hosting a dinner out of tradition when you actually hate doing that, and why keep doing something that you hate and it's not allowing you to actually honor these traditions or honor the primary concept, which is sharing with family.
Yeah. No, I hear that. You know, traditions, how we treat them, how we approach them is completely brand new. And Pluto in Capricorn, you know, Venus in Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn. Let's not forget all these Capricorns are here.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful about it is it does bring a sobering reality where Pluto and Capricorn will implode next March 2023. And it's like when that happens, traditions once again will be transformed forever. So, you know, take a good look at how you treated this Capricorn new moon on December 23rd. And, you know, this Capricorn new moon is something where the 1 degree is about Aries again, starting a fresh new revolution, a fresh new, you know, fight for what you believe is integral. So this is critical. So if the heritage, the family, what's the ultimate consequence if we maintain the heritage and the culture? Like if we just decide that we don't want to change, that we don't want to shift, that we don't want to go for new.
I mean, it really depends on the motivation. Like if you're really aligned with it, if you're really enjoying it, if you really like feel that these are the traditions you want to carry on, then that's just fine. But if just if it is out of the fear of embracing something new, of embracing your actual self, of just doing something that actually makes you feel good, and you're not doing it because of that, then that's where a red light starts to flash out. You know, this is why I feel like we're in this season where we need to know ourselves. Like this is just an exercise that we have to do for ourselves. Practice what feels right with us, and then go out into the world and share the new. And you're going to find people that are going to oppose, and you're going to find people that are actually vibrating in the same frequency. So it's just about finding the right tribe, because as you said prior, like Capricorn is not an alone sign. So it's how are you revamping? How are you doing these new traditions? How are you finding this new tribe that actually aligns with the things that you're envisioning, you know?
No. So you said it earlier, really in number 1, that like, you know, the actions on the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, you know, even the economic body, all these things are having to align with integrity with the actions. Because again, you see up here, it says 6 actions. Capricorn is an action-oriented sign. It is a cardinal energy. It wants to bring new things into the physical reality. Okay, you know, literally it's pushing for them too. And that's the season we're in. But again, remember, the push kind of goes from number 2, which is the projections that it chooses to accept or not. So when it meets a business client or a potential prospect in the workspace, somebody is projecting onto that Capricorn that like, you can save me. You can, you know, oh my God, you have wealth. You have this house. You can give me a home. Oh my God, you have a certain status in the community. You can get me a politician vote. Okay, you have a certain, you know, pushing the feminism communities, like you can really get my voice heard as a woman on this topic. And we start pushing and in this space, we start accepting or denying the projections of, hey, here's what you can do for me, because this is what you externally look like. You look like a philanthropist. You look like a Mexican Bruja. You can do me this witchcraft spell, right? Like you can banish my boyfriend. And so you literally hear, like literally as the Mexican Bruja, but it's like, you don't even do, you know, magic out of alignment where somebody's going to curse and put a hex on somebody else. But you get projected on as you can because you're a witch and because that's what witches are and what they do. So what do you do next? Let's say that I'm projecting it onto you, that you can help me. You can banish my ex-girlfriend out of my life with some magic, some candle magic, something. How would you then approach, in a sense, in either on the kind of to play a game on the left and on the right? How would you accept the projection? And how would you deny the projection? Like, what does that look like on both ways?
Okay, first of all, if I were accepting the projection, I would be people pleasing. Next,
that's number one.
Yeah, then it would mean that I don't know myself. Because I'm just accepting this without actually understanding what they're saying. And the third one, I would actually just do it, and keep saying yes to anything the other person says just because they're going to bring me business, Yeah, I can
Wow.
for sure banish your girlfriend, and it's just because I'm accepting this and to build my empire, Capricorn theme. But this is the one that's misaligned. Now, to actually be on alignment, I will have to, one, know myself and know that I cannot do this because it will be out of alignment. Like,
Sure.
First of all of the spells that I cast have to be personal. It works like with the mantras. It has to be personal, positive, and present. So off the rip, I cannot mess with any other people willpower, So I know myself, I know how the universe works, and I know that we're all one. So hexing somebody else would be hexing myself, would be hexing the next person, would be hexing the whole world. So on pyramid, send back.
So as we take a no, thank you for helping us understand that one and that two. But since we're on a topic, right? Like Aileen Mexican Bruja, Aileen the Mexican Bruja, Aileen the Mexican Bruja, witches are evil, witches are bad, witches curse people.
Yeah.
So help us clarify the narrative from a public standpoint. Like, what makes you a witch? Why do you identify with being a witch? Like, why would you want to claim something out loud where you know you're gonna get heat for it at the same time? Like, somebody is eventually gonna want to question and deem and curse it. What is a witch? Why do they matter? Like, who you in integrity? How can you explain witchcraft and brujeria to us in a way that actually makes sense, but real? That's just real to you.
Well, I can actually give you like two descriptions. One is like a broad one, which is are just people that can transmute energy. So if you actually think about it, this could be anyone and everyone. The thing that I choose to call myself a bruja is because I'm ready to accept and embrace this power, and I know that I'm using it for a higher good, a higher purpose. Because I'm guided. I was called to do this. And the second explanation, here in Mexican tradition, like brujas were just women that had a lot of power. So I actually think that this is why people just started giving a bad connotation to witchcraft, to the word bruja, to brujeria, because it's taking this power away from the people.
From the women specifically, or from the people?
Yeah, women specifically in the second example that I'm giving you from from a Mexican standpoint. It's literally like they realized women were getting a lot of power, and this couldn't be because the people who were actually like in the power, let's say government, couldn't let this happen, couldn't let their own power just go away. And again, this is misaligned Capricorn energy, So
good example.
This is again a form of control. It's a form of manipulation. See, demons.
Get it out. Get it out. Oh, wait, did somebody say, oh, she said happy birthday to me? I couldn't see it because it attached to the astro piece. Happy birthday, Shireen. Capricorn season out in the building. Capricorn season out in the building. 555 on screen, actually. I see at the same time as the same happy birthday. So thank you, Summer Solstice. We're actually talking about the winter solstice here, and you out here giving us faith, showing some love. Wow. So which equal wise woman? Super dope. Happy birthday. What were there male witches? And if so, what are they called?
I mean, I'm sure there were like male witches like all over the world, because again,
heritage wise, it was in Mexico is women specific.
Yeah, in Mexico it's just like brujas, because you have like healers, like santeros, like curadores, curanderos. Those are like the male ones, but witches had a lot of power here, like brujas specifically, because they were healing. Like they understood the moon phases, they understood the calendar, they understood astrology, they understood how to use the herbs in order to cure other people. So again, that's a lot of power, and this is something that not only them had. So there were curanderos too, who were like the male part, let's say.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, because they are using exactly the same things, but of course they could remain. So that's why you don't listen curanderos as a bad thing. Like it literally means healers.
Curanderos is specifically towards the males.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and that's a nice misconception, because I felt like curanderos were women when I first learned about them. See, and that's how they already kind of started switching up the culture because
Playing us.
Okay, cool. They're playing games, and this is a part of the manipulation of the power and the control you speak about with Capricorn.
Exactly. The manipulation, mind control. Think about it. It's literally mind control. Yeah.
Mind control, and by like the public image, no, like by controlling what people think they see. You saw that movie before with on Netflix. It just came out, The Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Right. And what is that joint? What happened with the control? Oh, with the imagery in the movie, the guy, he's explaining, he said, this is what happened. But when everybody's had their high adrenaline state and they're in a state of fear and in a state of anxiety, they start thinking they're seeing something that actually didn't happen, but they believe it in the moment because of the energy and the emotion. So it's the emotional manipulation that Capricorn has as a part of having his emotions suppressed doesn't mean it doesn't have emotions. Keeping his emotions suppressed doesn't mean it doesn't have emotions. And so suppressed emotions just show up in a toxic manner through control, using the emotions disconnected from the emotion, which now is saying it's like no one ever said that Capricorn has no empathy or doesn't. You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb. No one ever has ever said that because they understand how to use emotions. So wow, talk about that. What's up? Or we move to the next one because that just hit me like.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that this is actually a prime example of accepting their projection because they didn't know themselves. You know, like they didn't trust their minds. So they just say like, oh, yes, that's what happened.
Wow. So what's number 4? Where we going with this?
Number 4. We got
6 Capricorn actions.
Yeah, number 4 is one that I just feel super passionate about. It's allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear.
Okay, so what makes you passionate about it? Before we even get into it, like, and as I tell everybody to hit the thumbs up, definitely do check that. Do understand that every first and third Sunday as well, we're doing the membership. We're talking astrology specific. This is a special one-off type episode with the winter solstice, helping you understand why we're integrating the shadow, which is essentially the winter solstice as we move towards knowing in a way, like soon, like using soon what we know that the light is coming, like the lighter days are coming. We can kind of realistically see that it will be that way, but understand there's a couple months in between at the same time. So what is it? Why are you passionate about the ego? Say it again. Out of survival mode?
Allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear. And what I'm passionate about is not like the ego itself, but like the fear, this internal motivation. Because if you think about it, if you really think about it, when you make decisions out of fear, you're actually feeding the fear and you're manifesting these things that you were fearing in the first place. So it's just like a never-ending cycle. It's just like so mind-blowing. And again, I can relate this with the winter solstice and this whole hope and faith that the light is going to come. It's like the less I control, the most confidence I have in life. And that experiences are not good or bad.
That's a cool way to say it. Wow. Say that again. You said the less I control,
the more confidence I have in life.
Wow. That's like it almost like you practice that or something, you know?
I'm just wearing my amethyst. I'm connected.
No, you hit it with the in life.
I still have some Leo there, so the drama has to come out some way.
I was like, yo, run that vat. What's that? I need to freeze frame that in time, like in life. Yo, super dope. That's a green light. So, okay, wow. Okay, as a woman, we're in Capricorn season. How can you inspire the women? Like, I know you've talked about really inspiring the women. Like, what with that statement alone? How can you, as a woman, help other women understand how the female ego specifically, you know, you being a woman yourself, like how does the female ego show up in the world? How you know, if you think of the world as Capricorn, how does it show up, and what do women need to know in this moment?
I mean, let's just think, there's a bunch of examples that I could think, like staying in a relationship just because you don't know how to be alone. That's acting out of fear. That's literally acting out of fear. Just because you don't want to be alone, you fear to aloneness. Not asking for a promotion that you know you deserve is acting out of fear of rejection.
Wow. Okay. and what does rejection look like? Or even more so, again, we're considering the divine feminine, the sensitive energy. What does rejection feel like for a woman? What does rejection feel like?
What does rejection feel like as a woman? I think, to be honest, that rejection feels the exact same way for men and for women, because the ego doesn't have a gender.
Wise.
So just to understand, is like rejection again is external validation for starters. And it is something, and I'm saying that this is something ego motored.
So rejection is creating an external requirement for being validated. Like that's essentially us rejecting ourselves.
Yes, like it's a false expectation if you think about it too. Like that's all rejection is. Thinking back to my example of the not asking for the promotion out of the fear of rejection, like the rejection would be like being said no, you know. So you're just denying yourself the opportunity. And again, this no is only considered a bad experience from the ego.
Because
the ego is the only one that says it deems something good or bad, when we're just here to experience life. So a person that is in a neutral state, who's not like powered by the ego, would just accept and embrace any opportunity. You know, like if I ask for the promotion and they say no, maybe this is my opportunity to just move forward to another job.
Sure.
So it was not a bad experience. It was just an experience that was leading me to my next path, to my next move.
I think that said it right here. Rejection is redirection. I think it says it right there.
And that's the non-ego approach. That's the true self, the actual self, the authentic self approach.
Ooh, because remember, authenticity and inauthenticity, this is character traits of the divine feminine energy.
Yes.
And you know, I feel like that's a surprise to a lot of people. I even say it was to myself, to an extent where it's like divine feminine energy is linked to authenticity or inauthenticity. And that's like game changer when you really let it sink in, because I feel like naturally it's associated with a masculine presence to be authentic or inauthentic. It's not something I originally considered a feminine trait. So when I had learned that, I was like, wow.
Well, because like, wow. You know, I just see it as a part of the vulnerability. Like if I allow myself to be myself in every single way, I'm just putting myself in a vulnerable position, which is not bad at all. Right, like it's a part of the light of the divine feminine too. So I think it just aligns. Like you have to be your true self in order to be vulnerable, in order to be aligned.
Simple. What's number 5 out of 6? So far we have people pleasing, one of the 6 actions of to really, you know, integrate the shadow that everything we've gone through. Scorpio season would have revealed all of that. You know, Sagittarius season would have helped you shift your perspective. And now we're here at Capricorn season, helping you understand what is the reality of what happened. You know what I mean? So what is, we got people pleasing for number 1. We have projection and accepting projections. How do we accept those projections or deny them? We have number 3, which is like the familiar heritage and traditions, right? Something like that. What was it?
Yeah, the unconscious push of familiar traditions.
Okay, so the family traditions and heritage, just doing things because everybody in the family's done it forever and ever and ever. My daddy did it, my mama did it, my mama's daddy, mama did it, so I did it. Okay, victimization. Number 4?
Allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear.
Allowing the ego to make decisions out of fear. And she gave the example about, you know, being a woman potentially asking for or not asking for the promotion because you might get rejected, and not seeing rejection as something that's really redirection. Simple.
Yeah.
And then number 5.
Firstly, I just want to address this comment, like, because I really think we're here to help. So if this is a question that's coming up, I really feel like
this one right here.
it.
This one right here.
Yeah, especially because I know I have the answer and I can redirect you.
Okay.
This low self-worth and wanting the rejection is actually not a rejection wound, it's an abandonment wound. Because what you want here is actually attention. So you're getting it the bad way. So you can actually victimize yourself and say, like, tell to anyone and everyone who's willing to hear, hey, they rejected me. And the funny thing is, like, this is the manifestation of the fear too. Like, you actually manifested not getting the promotion so you could talk about it and people will be like, oh, I'm so sorry, dear, come here. Let's get you a special dinner. We're going to make you feel good. And again, this is external validation. But once again, this is the abandonment wound. This is not actual rejection. It's so funny to hear it. Yeah.
So actually choosing to fail because you know you're going to get sympathy.
Exactly.
And that's the representation of receiving love in a toxic manner.
Yeah. This is manipulation too, like this Capricorn energy. This is most, well, for myself, that I've done some research on it, I feel it connected to like a Chiron in Leo wound, like getting this attention in a toxic way. There's people who would go so far as getting sick on purpose so that people can just have all the attention on you.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
but I've seen it. I have seen that. When you say it like that, it's just wild to hear. It's kind of wild to hear when I'm being honest. Like,
it's super wild to hear, and this is why, like, this is the break, like, because the hardest thing here is that people may not know, and I am saying from experience because that sometimes I didn't go as far as to go to an injury in order to get attention, but it's still something that was unconscious. So until I read it and I was ready to just accept it, I couldn't even see it. So this is why, like, just try and see this. And here's just a little tip. If you can see this behavior in someone else, it's because it's on you. So just accept that. Yeah.
That's the bitty bitty bang bang right there. That's the bitty bitty bang. Hey, look, I'm about to play a little bit of lofty. A little bit of lofty, you know, a little bit of this, just to give us a little think break and move the energy. I want everybody to just get ready on this Christmas to move the energy, and I might actually go 3, 2, 1.
Woo. One. No. Well, I can't hear it.
Okay, bang.
I don't know if
I got it now.
Oh.
I don't think we're gonna hear it. Oh, do you hear it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. We're gonna just move that energy out of the body. Okay. I always let her move the body. I let her move the body. So that helps actually Capricorn a lot. Somebody asked me, like, how do you get over Capricorn type things? And it's like, I was like, remember that Capricorn is cold and dry, so you drink a lot of water. You don't do things that dehydrate your body because it already is cold and dry. You do things like warm tea. And that begins to open up the pores from the inside out. You know, it's like, think of dirt when it's dry and hot. You know, you have to pour water on it. It needs, you know, moisture to reach the roots, the center, and also self-care, because, you know, Capricorn is the skin, is part of our external appearance, and it's like self-care. Maybe you can give us like 2, 3 self-care tactics as we move to number 5, like something like just self-care for feminine energy in the skin and Capricorn, the back, the teeth related flossing, you know. What are the things that gets Capricorn to start releasing these emotions in a practical manner, in a very standard way that it can relate to in reality, because it is an earth energy.
Okay, so Capricorn, like you said it, all three of flossing, like being very, very careful of your teeth. Capricorn is the teeth. You did say something about the teeth and just using that steam to open your pores, and it's gonna help it cleanse.
Oh, the steam. I was saying that the other day with like the sauna. Man, when I get a sauna, like every once in a while when I'm traveling the world, you get a sauna, yo.
Yeah, and it's part of the skin too. So
yeah, it's super detoxifying. Banshee, thank you. I want to say thank you. Is that 333? What?
Hey, Cam, are you still here?
I just saw the 333, you know, because honestly, my screen is far away, so I'm not trying to spend too much time in the comments in general today. But it's like, I just saw 333 when I zoomed in. That's awesome. I've been seeing it everywhere. So you rock. Thank you for your extra confirmation. A little sprinkle on top. So what we got for number 5, the karmic actions of Capricorn.
Ooh, denying the importance of the shadow versus actually integrating it.
Okay, so what's the importance of the shadow of Capricorn? What does that mean? What's the important shadow of the Capricorn?
Well, I don't really want to go into Capricorn, but I can relate it to the winter solstice, because I've heard a lot of misconception of shadows. Like if people think that healing is just denying that your shadow exists, then that's off the rip wrong. And just think about this winter solstice, like there is shadow, there is darkness. We just passed the longest day, the longest night of the year. So the part of this is like accepting that it is there, just not letting control your life. So you let the hope for the light to actually help you in your decisions, you know?
And how do you wait out? How do you wait out? How do you stay hopeful? You know, like I feel like anybody in the chat could be like, man, it's easy to just say be hopeful, but how do you wait it out? Like, how do you actually manage and wait in that dark time frame for the light to show and for things to be hopeful? Like, what's the trick to that?
Like the biggest one for me, it's how do you say gratefulness? Like being grateful. Listing literally the things that you're grateful for, the things that you couldn't live without, just thanking God for another day of living, of waking. Like that's one off the rip. The second one
I like how you said listing, because again, Capricorn's earth energy. So it's like writing that specifically, like getting old school with a wooden pencil. You know, there's a certain feeling that a wooden pencil has to a mechanical pencil. When you get those number 2, you know, Chicaganderaria pencils that no one can remember how to say. I mean, I can't. I don't know how to say it. You know how to say the word? You know how to say the word?
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Those number 2 pencils?
Yeah, like the yellow ones, you know?
Yeah, the yellow ones with it says the word T something. What is that? I don't know. Number 2s.
Yeah, those ones.
So yeah, writing those things out. Remember, Capricorn is a methodical energy. It needs to write the goals, write the numbers, you know, do things in the physical world to help itself gain to the point where it can do more shadow work. Like it needs that from a security base. It operates with a security mindset. So go ahead and give us another one.
Meditation. Real meditation. When you connect with the divine, there's no way that you're not staying hopeful. You know, like let me rephrase this in a positive way. Like when you connect with the divine, you get hopeful, like right off the rip at the moment, immediately. Yeah, you're surrounded by. Well, you're always surrounded by your guides, by this protective energy. But when you meditate, when you connect with the divine, you can actually see it in a more tangible way. That's something that our human body just wants. Like, if I'm being honest, it's part of the ego wanting. Yeah. It's part of the process.
It is part of the process, and I feel I'm a big believer. I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, Capricorn energy. And I've been realizing this more and more as I've been studying the human design, how important it is and how driven it is on security. Like its need for security is it's pressurized. There's actually pressurized systems that forces it to maintain a certain demand. So everybody knows a Capricorn that works too hard, right? Everybody knows a Capricorn that just works way too hard and doesn't take no rest. But it's a certain pressure that it's actually how it's built and designed to provide and be the changer and the shifter for the family forever, for their heritage forever, for the new traditions and cultures forever. It's looking to do things forever. And that takes a lot of pressure. And think about it, we have Pluto in Capricorn. It's like Pluto is where all pressure comes to break. So what do we have for number 6 on this current list for Capricorn? Yeah.
One last one that I feel is very important is just connecting with your spirit and doing something that you really, really like. That's the third tip for staying hopeful. This is something that automatically is going to connect you. You know, there's no way. There's really no way. Like if it's for me, it's like singing. For me, it's like dancing. And again, I feel like dancing could be something that works for everyone, just because Capricorn likes the movement too, and it's a way for it to just connect and keep the movement going.
Yeah.
But anything, like it could be writing, it could be knitting, it could be anything, just something that your soul, your spirit likes, not your human body. That's the only catch.
So that's crazy that you say it, because I've been realizing, when I listen to salsa, for example, it's like the music is talking to those lives that I have lived in salsa. It's not just that, okay, I grew up and didn't really listen to salsa, except for I kind of always did, because I grew up I had like Puerto Rican neighborhoods and stuff in there. It was always there to some extent, being so close to New York City. But even outside of that, like listening to music from places and cultures that I never heard, there's a connection. I love listening to like Chinese Zen music, for example. Just love it. It's like, it's way more calming to me than listening to some Spotify meditation playlist. That it's just way more like it becomes a background. I hit a certain flow, a certain Zen before I've even been there. And like now when I listen to it, it brings me back to that peace of when I lived in Asia. So it's like, what I'm saying? It's kind of like the music is huge.
It's huge. I recently just got into Moroccan music. Like in this life, I haven't been there, but somehow it's calming to my soul, to my spirit. So that's how I know that I have a karmic connection to that place. That's how I know that I have a past life there, and that it's bringing me like this wisdom, these skills that I need right now in this moment. And it unlocked like about 2 weeks ago. So there's something
awesome.
coming there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you ever check your astrocartography line there in Morocco?
No, I haven't yet, but now that you said it, I'm for sure gonna do it.
It made me curious. If you check your astrocartography line, I can get some indications of what's up.
Yeah, but this is just like an invitation to everyone seeing this life to expand it, go out of your cultural traditions, again, this Capricornian theme, and just try to hear something new. Let's see how your soul feels it, how your spirit feels with it.
So Capricorn karma, just a reminder that you want to learn deeper astrology. Again, this is a side real show today, being the winter solstice. After this Capricorn new moon, right before the new year. Merry Christmas to everybody out there living.
Ooh.
Okay, Merry Christmas to everybody out there able to watch this, and know that alone makes you blessed. Simply that simple. Like that alone, the fact that you have the screen that you can watch this, you're already that blessed. So find reasons to be grateful for Capricorn season. I've been really loving this season. If I'm being honest, most of my Decembers have been very miserable. Most of my Decembers have been very depressed. Most of my Decembers have been very melancholic. But this particular one, what has changed is I've allowed myself to rest. And as I've done that, everything has changed. All the noise is, I've been able to just be at peace. I had somebody the other day was asking me like, yo, are you off? Are you off kilt? Like I felt your energy was off. And I was like, no, actually, I'm amazing. Like I'm actually absolutely amazing. And the beauty is that's just been. Go ahead.
Oh, that you would have been taking his projection.
Yeah, I would have. That's exactly true. If I say yeah, but no, and no, and the beauty is rest has allowed me to align and attune to the sensitivities within myself that has said, this is super clear as day. Like if I was busy, if I was running like 1,000 miles my head off, maybe I would have brought that story. Maybe on a bad day, I would have brought that story and be like, oh shit. And it got over paranoid and, wanted to let the mind start talking on the monkey waves. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the rest, the divine feminine energy, the surrender to the fact that there will be lighter days, and that just because things aren't public or me not being on the internet does not equate to I'm feeling bad. In fact, that's the healthiest sign that I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
So,
so you're feeling great. Yes.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh, you making me want to do another dance break. I'm about to switch it up to the dance pop.
Yes.
I still can't hear it, but I'm gonna just dance pop like I can. I'm gonna pretend I can. Oh, hold up. Let me throw in some volume. Shake that, move that, break that, shake that, bring that, break that, shake that, break that, move that. Oh man, that was fun. Thank you. I appreciate you. That generator energy. Ooh, they're like that. Shake them out. Shake them out. Move the energy. Just feeling amazing. Ooh. No, really, everybody, make sure you move. Remember, Capricorn is a cold and dry planet. So in this season, you need to move your body more. You need to warm it with tea, warm it with hot, steamy showers. Okay, wear extra clothing. Understand that if you're going through dry skin, it becomes very irritable. When your external appearance, it's not just external. Understand that when your skin is dry, you're dehydrated on the inside. You know, your skin is dry, you're taking too much cold wind. So put on extra pajamas, put on an extra hoodie. This is that hoodie season. It's that wear a hat, you know, that's that wear a scarf. And don't worry about what's cool, or if somebody think you looking crazy, like, oh man, he's wearing a hat, a scarf, and glasses. He's all covered up. He's buttoned up his shirt. He's locked in. Don't worry about what people are thinking. Like in this exact appearance, in this moment, this is what is comfortable. This is what I need. I can't depend or think or change what I might wear to please or impress you. And that's what a lot of this Capricorn karmic energy is about, with these 6 actions that we're giving you as we move to number 6, baby. Yo, I imagine, like, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I was on the club. Like,
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I see the blessings and people feeling blessed in the chat, and that's great energy, and I love it.
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What's number 6 that the 6 actions to Capricorn, you know, in this karmic process, coming in from Aileen, the Mexican Bruja. Give it to the drop it like it's hot.
It's a toxic positivity.
Bam. All right, what that look like?
I mean, I just have a very live example. A friend of mine just told me that a friend of hers died yesterday. So toxic positivity would be her just going to the parties, just pretending that everything's okay. When people ask, like, how are you? She's saying, fine, yes, I'm great. And just denying herself her time to grieve.
Dang. That's a heavy one, and it's so true.
I mean, and this is an extreme
when you
example.
say it like that, no, when you say it as an extreme, but the thing is, somebody knows somebody that has died every day. Whether that person was close or not, that's a different story. But so it could be extreme or not. But you know what? This is reality. This is Capricorn season. We can't just blink that out like it doesn't have an impact. And it leads and opens up the discussion in the chat for a lot of other real narratives. Because first off, what you said was a real narrative. So it's like, if that's the one that came to mind, that's the one that people need to hear as a channel message, for starters. And secondly, from there, you know, that opens up the chat to so much more, where it's like, oh man, imagine somebody, you know, breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend and be like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. No, it's okay. I didn't need him anyway. You know, I got better things coming, and they lying to themselves like that person really. And I could tell you, I've been that person somewhere in my life. Try to act like, you know, making cuts and making moves just didn't impact me as much as it did, and that required me to grieve longer later. I clear through and through. So I can really understand how that narrative, even of death, can start to play and be so consistent in so many different areas of our life, of like, you know, wow, that's a big one. So what do you feel about that? How does that look? And if you explain a little bit deeper, number 6.
I mean, again, it would be just saying that everything's fine, or pretending that everything's okay just because it's Christmas, you know, just because it's expected, just because it's the season of the year, just because it is to conserve your status. So again, it is denying our true selves. Like, No, I'm not fine. And if you don't want to go to the Christmas party, then don't go. You know, because it's not about, oh, grandma's going to be pissed. It's about, how am I feeling? Like, why would I choose to just give my energy like that? Like, I'm relinquishing my power if I do that.
Sure. No, I totally understand that. Wow. So this is the winter solstice message. What I want to say off rip is, Aileen, the Mexican Bruja, like, what do we need to know about you? What do you want us to know? Are there any services that you're offering? Any things you're doing? Like, talk to me. Like, how can the people support you?
Well, one of my hottest services and that I love the most is just Akashic record reading and past life healings. These are two different services, but they are both so fulfilling. I have this ease to just go and see past lives, and like going into the Akashic records, just going to the Akasha is healing itself. So just having these kinds of experiences are just truly empowering for both of us, you know, for the clients and for myself. So, and going back to a little bit this expansion of the culture, like how I feel attracted to the Moroccan music, even though I haven't been there. If you have something like that happening, like if you see an image of, I don't know, Egypt, and you're like super connected to that, you might have like a past life there. So just going there in the past life healing, we just go there and see what's there. And sometimes, yes, it is about healing karma, but sometimes it's just about recovering some skills, some wisdom. Like maybe you, I don't know, maybe you were a super warrior in Egypt, and you need to have this back here in order to empower yourself and just go ahead and build your empire. You know, let's say something like that. Because I don't want this whole just going there for the bad things. That of course it happens. Like if you have a cycle that keeps repeating itself, like toxic relationships, you get cheated on, and nothing that you do is changing it. Then yes, we can go to a past life and heal that. But it's about good things coming your way too. So yeah, past life healing, Akashic record reading, tarot, and candle magic. Those are my services. If anyone's interested, I think my page is in the description, and if not, I'll paste it in the comments. And well, I'm posting.
Whatever you sent me, I posted in the description at the top. My computer's off, and this is a different day, so I don't have it like to post in the comments right now. But anybody that's interested in anything she just said, past life record or healing, check it out. You know, as you say that, like, you know, past life, this is time manipulation and karma. Okay, all this stuff is held in Saturn. Okay, like, would you say that these records are also held in Saturn? Maybe it's held in Pluto, like, out of curiosity. And I have my own ideas, quite frankly, but I'm just testing. I'm just playing around with it. And also, like, and the reason I say that is, you know, what if I'm afraid of getting an Akashic record reading? Like, what does that mean? Like, you know, is this something that I should wait till I'm called to do? Is it something that that I need to be nervous about because, you know, it's new, it's different? Where is it new? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like, just to help people really understand what's happening with this space, this Akashic record space, and how you got drawn to it. Like, you know, maybe if you help us understand what drew you to Akashic records, what made you feel qualified.
I mean, I actually started just with the past life healings because, again, I just had this ease. Like, I started just it started actually with one of my healings. I went with one of my teachers, and we had a past life healing. I had it with her, and she was like, "You're just seeing everything that I'm seeing." And then we realized that I had just a very good I don't know, like ease to just going to past lives. And then I started realizing that they weren't just mine, that I could touch someone and just see a past life, or just see someone in some sort of setting and just look at an image of them in a past life setting. So it actually started away. She trained me in a past life healing. And then from there, when I was doing research, I just found the Akashic records. And I cannot tie it to a planet because it's actually a different dimension. This is in the fifth sphere, you know, this is in the fifth dimension, and it goes upper. So that's why I cannot tie it to a planet, but I can tie it to Archangel Metatron, for example. You know, he's the guardian, he's the keeper. Like you have absolutely nothing to be afraid of, because first of all, I put a healing and safety shield when we do these sessions. Second of all, like it's held by Archangel Metatron. We call my guides and the client's guides. And third of all, this is just a library. Just literally think of it as a library. It's the library of our souls. So it is everything, like past lives, current lives, and even possible futures. So literally everything that your soul was, is, and is going to be is held there. So we're just going there in order for you to get some of the guidance that you might need in this life in order to succeed in whatever it is that you want to do. So questions like, why did I choose to come here with this family? Or what is my purpose in life? Or sorry, I was just a little bit loud.
I was like, you know what? Roll with it. No, so you know when you were speaking, and I feel like this matters because Saturn in Pisces is coming up, and you know, Pisces is the easiest sign that can tap into that 12th house records. And so when I had thought about that, it made me feel, and this is a wild intuitive moment, quite frankly, that Neptune is a portal to that 5D.
You know, that
Neptune is a portal.
It
just feels right. I know.
Yeah, it feels right.
Simple.
Yeah. Like there's nothing in my mind or in my logic self that could say yes, but like my emotion was like.
That's that life path 11 stuff. I know you're a life path 11. I'm a life path 11. That's that 11. It's like, bro, I know for a fact that Neptune is a portal to the 5D.
Yeah, it's just right.
It's kind of like Thor's, you know, where they stab the sword and thing. It's like it's that little gate portal where you can just go to any one of the 9 realms. So yeah, that's just too easy. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, definitely hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you enjoyed and you rock with this message. I see 111 on screen. We just said life path 11, so can't get. Oh my God! And then a 4-7, which is another 11. That's 11,
yeah,
all over. Yeah, gang. Thank you all for those thumbs up. Do check out the Astros Divinity membership. This is your AstroShaman Pernell Bobby. We are here generating a world of harmony, leveraging astrology. And on the first of the month this year, back in January 1, it's beautiful that this Sunday lands on January 1. We're running the next Astro Divinity membership meetup, and that's where we're learning astrology. It's getting super dope in the background. Hey, Earth Angel, thank you all for y'all in the chat. I can attest to that. I have a sun in Jupiter and Lilith in Pisces. Hey, gang.
Awesome.
So she already
yeah,
she already gets it, you know.
Yeah.
She already gets it. I got my Jupiter in Pisces this year, my Venus in Pisces this year, my Neptune in Pisces this year. So it's like all of that stuff is like, it just makes total sense. Like no explanation required. I'll see you all soon, baby. Love.
Thank you.